Bowman here from BWOne.com, and I was doing some spring cleaning in my PC, and I decided, why don't I show you guys what exactly in my PC? I know a lot of people have been asking me that question before, what's the hardware that you run? And I figured I'd give you guys a tour of the custom-built PC that I have. I've been building computers for quite a while. I would say over the last 10 years maybe or so. I've been building PCs on my own, maybe 8 years or so, I'm not sure exactly, but I've been building them for quite a while. And let's just check to see what I have here. So first off, my motherboard is the Asus P16 motherboard. Always been a big fan of Asus. I've used other boards before, but Asus has been one of the most rock solid boards I've had. It's a P16 motherboard. LGA 1366 is the socket. And it's just a plain P60. It's not, the special edition or any extra fancy one. It's just pretty much the first one. I really like it. I didn't want to pay the extra money for all the extra features that I'm not going to use on a lot of those more $200, $300, $400, and sometimes even $500 motherboards, which I think are just way overpriced for a lot of the things that you want to do. You can get done with a good motherboard and doing some good research on it. So that's my motherboard, and it's powered by a Intel Core i7-920, which is one of the fastest processors out there. I like the Core i7 series a lot. It's true quad core processing. I have it overclocked to 3.6 gigahertz, I believe, currently. And I keep it cool with the Corsair H50 water cooler. It's actually a self-contained water cooler, which is pretty cool. So there's no, piping or anything you need to do. Even though my case is made for water cooling capabilities, it's just a self-contained water cooler that keeps all the stuff in its own. And it uses this grate here for cooling. The radiator here kind of cools it out, and I have two Noctua fans attached to it. They're Noctua 140mm fans with 120mm attachments to them, and that allows for the push-pull method, which they tell you on Corsair to do with the H50, and you'll see much lower temps, and definitely on the H50, I definitely see lower temps with that. That's been one of my favorite coolers I've ever had, because it's silent, it's quiet, you get the advantages of water cooling, and it works very, very well. And with water cooling, it's on the most important part, which is the processor. That's the most important thing you want to keep cool. Definitely like that. And next to that, I see a lot of sticks of RAM. That's 12 gigs of RAM right there. And I know what you're going to say, like, what do you need 12 gigs of RAM for? That's so overboard and stuff. Well, I do a lot of video editing, HD video editing. I run like a bunch of apps all at once and stuff. And the reason I did get this RAM is I kind of got it on a good deal. The RAM was originally $220 when I first purchased it, maybe about a year and a half ago. And now it is, I think I checked a month later, and it was actually up to $400 at one point. Like literally a month later, the same RAM. It's OCZ. It's, I think, the gold-plated series from OCZ, and it's PC 12800, so PC3 to 12800 RAM. And yeah, and it was retailing for like $400 after I paid $220 for it less than a month ago. And I still think to this day, I think it's up in the 300s somewhere. So I got I spent $220 and got 12 gigabytes of RAM. That's definitely not a bad deal. So I had to jump on that. So that's my RAM, and we'll come down here and we'll take a look at, this is my SATA 6 gigabit card there, controller card there. I actually bought a drive. I bought a new 1 terabyte drive, and it was one of the new Western Digitals that had the SATA 6 gigabit capabilities. Didn't realize that it had that, so I ended up buying a card to take advantage of that, and I usually use that as sort of my video drive and stuff. Pretty cool and pretty fast. And the controller works very simply too. And below that is my GeForce, a GeForce GTS 450. I really like this graphics card. My final review should be up and coming soon on this. I really do like this graphics card. It's very simple, and it gives me the power that I need. It's not overboard. I've spent, $400 or $500 on those cards before. I think the last card that I had was the 8800 GTS from about 4 years ago when it first came out. So the 640 megabyte version when it first came out. And I think I spent either $339 or maybe even $400 on that card. And I used it for 4 years and barely played any games on it. I was doing everything else but playing games. So I didn't want to, get another card that expensive again. So I got this card, to get a DX11 support, CUDA support, and just get a newer graphics card in there, which I really do like this card. All right, and below there, powering it, all the power is my power supply, is the HX750 from Corsair. It's a modular power supply. I really like it. It's really quiet. It works really well. I haven't had any stability issues with it at all. It's really been pretty solid for me. I definitely have to recommend it. And what's keeping things cool, besides my Corsair H50, is my Noctua fans. I have several of them. Here I have 3 of them up there. They're Noctua 120 millimeters up there. Anybody who knows a Noctua, they're definitely, you know, high-end premium case fans. And I'm using those up top there, and one down there, and another 140 millimeter behind that case right there, which helps cool the hard drives, which I'll show you the hard drive base soon too. And I don't know if you can see inside there. I have a case right inside here. This is an SSD case that's inside of a drive bay to make it compatible. It actually holds my Intel X25M. I want to say Intel X25M 80 gig solid state hard drive. Might have had the model number there wrong, but it's an Intel 80 gig solid state hard drive that uses my boot drive that's inside of there. Solid state drives, they're so fast, and you really do notice the difference. I really do like them a whole lot. I'll have a review of that, and I think another solid state drive I used in the past too to kind of show you guys. And above that is my DVD drive, which I'll show you when I show you the front of the PC. But if you didn't notice, you can notice that this is pretty clean here. This case I bought, a specific case, is the Corsair 800D case. I specifically bought it to keep the cables clear and clean, so everything's nice and clean to get into, and it ventilates very well, very smoothly. As you can see here, everything looks really tight and really nice. I can probably even get it cleaner than that. There's probably people with the same case that can get it even cleaner. But I definitely love this case. I have to recommend it even at the price that it's at. It's definitely good. And this right here is actually another 120 millimeter Noctua fan. And these 2 holes here, amongst other holes, are for your water cooling if you decide to set that up. Quickly here in the back, to show you the back ports here. Show you what my motherboard has. You know, standard, 6 USB, you have gigabit Ethernet, you have 8-channel audio, optical audio, eSATA, SPDIF port, and Firewire, and all those little fancy things that you normally get. It's 8-channel HD audio, and then right there is my my graphics card. Is dual DVI with an HD. I think that's a mini HDMI on the side, and my power supply down there, which is a modular power supply, so you can plug in only the cables that you need. And we'll swing around here to the front. Look here at the top. The front of this case is pretty much brushed metal. Power button's right here, and when you click right here, it's nice. My front panels are right up here. I have one Firewire, 4 USBs, and front audio in. Microphone port and headphone ports up here. Pretty cool. This is, click that up, that's my DVD burning drive. It's an Asus. It's one of the more quiet Asus. It's part of the Quiet Track line. And this isn't the Quiet Track one specifically, but it's in that same line of just really quiet. You know, you can barely hear it when it's burning. I think it has up to 48x and 48 or 52x in CD, and I think up to 16 in DVD as far as burning speeds are. And what we're going to show here is my hot swap drive bay here. So this is 4, up to 4 you can have here, and then actually inside here below, which you can't access until you pop the front off, there's 2 more drive bays down there as well. But this is where you can hot swap the drive. It's pretty cool. All you have to do is kind of hit the little switch there, pop it out, and there's my drive. That's a 1 terabyte drive I have there. I think I have 4 terabytes of storage in total, I believe, as far as hard drives are concerned. Yeah, keep a lot of data. And it's a little dusty actually. But you basically attach it to this kind of tray right here. You can actually attach a solid state drive there as well, but I have attached a regular hard drive bay, and it looks and works pretty much similar to what you see as far as server cases are concerned. So you just kind of snap it in like that. It connects right back in. And inside you plug the SATA from your motherboard into the SATA ports that are built into the back panel here, and that's how it connects. But that's pretty much my computer there. It's like I said, it's in a Corsair 800D case. I really love this case. It's big, very, very big, but very heavy too. But it keeps things cool. It keeps things clean. I really do like the case and definitely would recommend it. So that's my computer there for the most part as far as the internals are concerned. I guess the next question to kind of answer here is the buy or build debate. Buy or build has been one of the biggest debates amongst PC enthusiasts for the longest time. Is it cheaper and smarter to, build a machine, or is it just worth it to just go and buy a machine? And, the question gets more and more interesting as nowadays hardware prices are pretty even when it comes to building a PC versus kind of buying one store-bought. The cost is kind of coming very close to one another. But I always feel like it's a case-by-case basis. Me personally, I'll never buy a store-bought PC. The only store-bought PC I actually have is my laptop, which I still configured using Dell's configurator, so you can kind of be a little bit more customized with that. All the desktops that I've owned, I've built my very first desktop, and I've always built desktops, and I like building those machines. But I also build high-performance machines just like this. So the cost is kind of saved there. Let's say if you're going to buy something like a Falcon Northwest machine versus building one yourself with the same type of specs, same type of power, there you might see the savings. But if you're not going to build a high-performance machine, and you're going to go to some sort of mainstream and kind of middle of the road, then there's a bit of maybe where it gets a little bit more even as far as cost and time and stuff like that. I've also found in some cases, on a case-by-case basis, when dealing with family and friends, if I either build them a machine or buy them a machine, I really have to judge their technical expertise and their patience and how much money they're kind of willing to spend. Because you got to remember, if you're going to build them a PC, you have to remember you take on the full responsibility of supporting that PC for them as well, which could be either a good or a bad thing, depending on what you build for them, how much money they're willing to put in. Obviously, the more money they're usually willing to put in, the higher the machine is going to be, the premium is going to be, and the better build quality is, and the less problems you're probably going to have with it outside of some software issues maybe. But even then, premium hardware, usually you're going to run pretty good. You're going to be pretty fine with that. But if you have some cases where some people are not as patient, not willing to spend as much money, it might be smarter to go to that brick and mortar store such as a Best Buy or a Costco's or whatever, and kind of buy that PC. Or in some cases go to Dell and kind of configure it so you can put in the specific specs that you want with it, and make sure that person's getting the right computer that they're getting. You can get them a warranty and all those type of things, because they might not be as patient, they might not want to spend as much money, and you might not have as much time on your hand to help support them that way. And if you're not around to be able to support them, they at least have somewhere to go to get support, such as Best Buy and Geek Squad, or Dell, and going and talking to their customer support, HP support, wherever you get the warranty from. You kind of get what I'm getting from there. You can kind of work within that. You obviously want to help them out with all the computer problems, but you also got to value your time as well. So it's kind of the old debate there that gets included, time versus money, which one's more valuable, and it's definitely a case-by-case basis. I don't knock store-built PCs too much. I wouldn't personally use them myself, but I go case-by-case as far as who I recommend them to. And if I feel a build is best for them, I most certainly recommend it to them and tell them to do it, because the experience and the knowledge that you get out of building your own PC is just extremely valuable, and it feels very good to build your own PC. All that hard work to get something that you built yourself working, and you know what's in it, and you can support it yourself, and you get, like I said, you get all that knowledge, and it's definitely a good thing to do. So I guess the debate's up to you guys. Let me know what you guys think of my PC. Post some of your PC ideas, your specs, or a video of your own PC, plus your thoughts on the whole buy versus build debate as well. Also, I wanted to mention that to check the description for the link inside to the post, there I'm going to have pictures of my computer posted up at BWOne.com. I have links available for some of the parts that I talked about, where you can grab them if you want to buy them yourself. So definitely check that out. So this is Bowman here from BWOne.com. Reminding you to subscribe to our YouTube page here, follow us on Twitter, and always remember to live your tech world in high definition.